Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh. I sell used books, CDs, and DVDs online on platforms like eBay and Amazon, and that is what I do full time to support my family. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at another AI listing tool for eBay. There's a lot of these tools coming out right now. I'm kind of like taking an opportunity to try them all out, see what works, see what doesn't work. Now, some caveats is these things are all in development still currently. They're all being changed actively. What it looks like today and what it could look like in a couple of weeks are different things. So keep that in mind as I am filming these weeks apart, and they are all constantly changing right now. So the one that we are looking at today, I'm just getting my screen recording going. Hopefully it works, because last time, this is the second time I'm filming this because my screen recorder decided not to work. Today we're looking at Quicklist.app. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. But what they say we can do is effortless eBay listings in seconds, upload photos, and let AI handle the rest, save time listing, and spend time scaling your business. List faster and make more money. Now they've got pink all over the place here. That's kind of neat. But here's the big thing. Listings with virtual assistants, typically you're paying 50 cents to $1 per listing. They are advertising here that we're going to pay 10 to 20 cents per listing instead of that 50 cents to $1 with a virtual listing. And of course, we don't have to deal with VAs. And that's kind of really what I'm looking for in my business. I've been doing my listing partially with a VA, and so I'm looking to change that over to doing it with an AI. Let's look at the pricing real quick. Here it is. Standard for casual sellers, $20, 100 listings per month. I think that's great for a part-timer like that level, about 20 cents per listing. Professionals, $50, 300 listings per month. If you're calling yourself a professional eBayer, you should be doing more than 300 listings per month, but I digress. Maybe that's just how many they needed to get to that $50 price point that they wanted. And then enterprise, $70, 500 listings per month. Personally feel like they need a tier above this or to bump up that enterprise tier or something like that. But you can contact them for more listings. They have a Discord server where you can talk to the person that is working on creating this. And I had to do that a little bit as we were going through this because I think I might have been the first person to use this for media. And so there was a couple little different things going on there. But anyways, let me get logged in real quick. Boom. All right. We are signed in. When we're signed in, there's three things over here on the left. Create listings. That's what we care about the most. Manage listings. We will use that to send them to eBay once they are done. And then account settings. That shows you how many monthly listings you use. It says I've used 133. I've done way less listings than that. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. You can manage your plan. And you can choose which shipping policies you have. I just want the media mail calculated 2-day one is the only one that I want on there. Because everything that I plan on doing in this is going to be media mail. They have an individual listing tool and a bulk listing tool. The bulk listing tool is fairly new to them, but I feel like if you are doing an AI lister, the whole point of doing this is to do a lot of listings at once to save you a lot of time. Even 10 listings like we're going to be doing here today, I don't feel like that's enough for it to be saving you adequate time. You need to be doing, oh my goodness. Oh, I need to continue to select images. You need to be doing, like 100 listings all at once. So what we're doing right now is we have all our photos uploaded, which went really fast. All we need to do now is click on the first photo of the listing, shift click to the last photo, and then hit create listing. Oops. You know what? And I just screwed this up. Let me go back. I'll show you what I screwed up. Continue to select images. It will not let me redo that here. Let's go back. Let me just restart that over. It would be nice if they had a way in case you messed that up to fix it there. Maybe there was that I just don't know about. But anyways, this is what happens when I'm talking and listing at the same time. All right, added 80 images. Continue to select images. And now we are going to start actually create the listings. We got 5 images for the first listing, 8 images for the second. Notice I do have a little info card that is in between these. That info card is more for me. I'm going to have it open on our other screen over on the right, which I'm not recording for you guys. And I am going to be basically looking at prices, the locations for the SKU field, and any other pertinent information that I would have wrote down whenever I was basically doing my research, my product research for these books. So now what we can do is drag the images around if I want to change the order of them. And this AI lister tells us that the first 4 images in each group is what's going to be used for AI analysis. I have felt like testing out some other softwares. I've had the feeling when I'm doing them that they're not looking at every single image. So I do kind of like that this one is telling us it's only using the first 4. But that's what's going on. So now it's going to analyze the listings. What it's basically doing right here, from my understanding, is kind of figuring out what category these are going in and getting the first bit of information. It's going to have to do a second step like this. Now, ideally, you'd be doing like 100, 200 listings all at once like this, and you could just walk away, let it do its thing, and then come back. Maybe do a little bit of bookkeeping, answer some emails, and that type of stuff. But with 10, it doesn't really take long. We're just going to sit here. Now we do need to select the categories. It looks like it got most of these right. This one is a CD, and it actually does have the CD category here. I've ran into some issues where it does not have the correct CD, the correct like category in the drop down, and then you're just going to have to update it on eBay later on, and that is a big problem. Notice this is trying to put this one in study guides and test prep. It's just a regular textbook, so we're going to put it there. But yeah, for the most part, it gets like 95% of these correct. I have noticed doing a few listings. But if it doesn't, then you've got problems. We're going to go generate listings, and it's actually going to start building those listings. Before, the AI was running into issues here whenever I first tried this with books, because a book has a giant block of text, and that was creating some sort of overflow error type thing of it analyzing every bit of text on that page. So they've worked around with it, and it's doing books really well now. And those 10 were done fairly fast. Kind of impressed with the speed here today. So we got these 10. We do have to go in to edit each one of them. And I'm going to spend a little bit more time today going over all the item specifics, looking at these titles, making sure that they make sense. I wish it would have put who edited this. It doesn't have an author. I wish they would have put that in the title, because I think that's something that somebody might search this by if they're trying to find it. Dakota L. Wood. So we're just going to add that real quick. Dakota L. Wood. It does have that here in the description. It mentions it's paperback, ideal for students, military professionals, and collectors of military publications. I really like seeing that. It's not something I would take the time to write myself, but I like seeing that there. This has a big crease on the cover, so I'm just going to downgrade that to good condition. I feel like this AI typically grades things higher than they need to be. One other big critique I have is these are just text boxes. And if you needed to change this from assigned no to just yes, if I type in yes like that and it's lowercase, and somebody is doing left-hand navigation searching of eBay item specifics, signed with a lowercase yes is not the choice. It is signed with an uppercase yes. And so it's not actually going to help you having that item specific there if you don't have it typed in exactly like it is on eBay's drop-down menu. So because of that, I wish these were drop-down menus that matched up with the eBay ones, and then you also had the opportunity to just type something in. But you know what? They don't have that. And maybe that's something they can get eventually. But anyways, price, fairly close. They had $15. I want it at 18. I wish there was a way to kind of have sequential SKUs so that from this one to all the rest, it could just fill in the SKU number for me because the next one's going to be A60039. But yeah, and there we go. Also, shipping policy. I should be able to have a default shipping policy in there. They don't have that option yet, but if they added that, we'd be fairly close. This one, it did not pick up that the book was signed, which I've seen a lot of the AIs kind of have issues with that. They've been very hit and miss on seeing if a book is signed or not signed. But I don't know why. I don't know why AI can't figure that out yet. And this is A6-0037 Media Mail. Looks pretty good. Number 3. Garden of Eden Cookbook. Sequoia Hill Baptist Church Recipes. Spiral. Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I'm going to put that right here also because I want to be able to type out the whole word Oklahoma. It's got the word community cookbook in there, which I really want to see in this. Honestly, that looks good. Looks pretty decent here. $15 is probably a fair price. I price these at $20 just because I know I can demand that price, but I'm more than welcome to accept a $15 offer. This does weigh just over a pound, so we'll call it 1 pound, 12 ounces. Now, notice how if I'm clicking edit here, it wouldn't let me go in because it said, please wait for the current edit to complete before editing another listing. I wish there was a way to actually get into that one right away. Having to wait for that one to finish, and now I got to wait for those to clear. Having to wait for that one to finish has really slowed me down sometimes. Typically, the software is running fast enough where it doesn't really matter. But sometimes it seems to be like slowing down on accepting those edits, which is not good. This one I had priced at $28. And this is going to be in. I think I messed up the SKU on the last one. But oh well. If I'm off by 1 or 2 on the SKU, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to realize it when I'm pulling orders. I'm going to get off. So once again, can't get into the next one yet. And we got to sit here and wait. The whole point of AI is to not be taking more time, and we're sitting here waiting. Once again, the AI did not pick up that this book was signed. This is the second time I've tried listing this book with the software before. Last time it did pick up that it was signed. So I find that interesting. But yeah, looks pretty good. All in all, we're going to price this at $25. Custom SKU of A6-0034. Media mail. This does weigh over a pound. If you look here at my photos, like that third photo, this is obviously signed. Look at the second photo. Like, very interesting. And I'm interested how it gets like the error and stuff like that when, if it's only looking at the first 4, it can't even see that this is from 28, or it can't see the ISBN. Also, does it put the ISBN in here anywhere? It does not. It does not. I wish it had it somehow. Anyways, next one. Traditional step dancing in Scotland. Looks good. I would call this very good condition. I wanted to price this at $15. This is A6-0033. Media mail. Done. On to the next one. I find myself mostly editing these fields at the bottom. If it was at the top up here and with the like submit button up here at the top, I feel like that would save me a little bit of time. Notice it does put this in a jewel case. This is not a jewel case. So that's interesting. So I guess everywhere this says jewel case, I need to be very careful to say that this is not jewel case. This is where if I had a drop-down menu, ooh, I kind of have a drop-down menu there. Not Maybe I typed those in. I don't know where that's come from. Anyways, moving on. Is this category? Yep, it's in CDs category. Anyways, $15. A6-0033. About typed the wrong numbers. And media mail. 3 more to go. Local. Oh, we have to wait once again. It's almost a deal breaker for me there. But typically it's been fairly quick. It just needs to be a couple of seconds quicker here. Local H, Pack Up the Cat CD, 1998, Island Records, alternative rock album. I really wish alternative was like spelled out here. Not sure why it decided to abbreviate that, but it did. This one's in a jewel case. That's interesting. And you know what? I just realized I priced the last one wrong. I'm not doing a good job of talking to you guys and going to the right information card. So let's go back. This one's actually $45. And it should be 32. Just for like talking and doing things is not always the best thing for me. Let's see the next one. Tiger in Sight by Astrid Bergram Suxdorf, hardcover. Vintage. The book is in good condition with intact pages and bindings showing typical signs of age, but no major damage. I like that. It's actually got the author and the title in here. That's better than what some of the AI listers have done. It's doing a much better job of that than actually any of the other AI listers have done. Most of them have struggled a lot with title and author because most titles and authors are not in those drop downs, and it probably has something with these being like blanks instead of drop downs or something along those lines. A60030. This does weigh a little bit more. That's not a big deal at all. And last one, Organic Chemistry as a Second Language. It put book here as the item type, and I know that's not an option for the drop down, so I find that interesting. It does have the UPC here. What did I want to price this at? $20. A6-0029. Medium L. And let's call it 2 pounds, 4 ounces. All right, so that is all of them. I can hit save 10 listings as soon as this one finishes updating. So we got to kind of wait for that. And there it is. So let's then go to save these 10 listings. I'm then going to go to view listings. And this is like over here on this manage listings part. I have these 10. They're just sitting here basically in drafts on Quicklist. To actually send them to eBay, I have an export to eBay button. And it's going to now send those out to eBay. And as soon as like they've disappeared here, I've gone to my eBay and like refreshed it there. They've been there right away. So that's been actually really fast to do for me. But this has been Quicklist, quicklist.app. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. Let me know how you guys think it stacks up against these other AI listers. Do you like it more? Do you like it less? It does have its problems, but I think with just a couple of little tweaks, this could be a good one. Looking around 20 cents per listing, which is a much better price than we've seen on some others. I think that price could come down just a little bit more, but I'm happy with it. We got to get that speed up and a couple of the little tweaks that I talked about earlier, but I think this one could be there. I think this one is, in my opinion, like the one I've tried so far that is the closest to being what I'm looking for. I know everybody's looking for different things in these, but for media, for what I'm looking for, this is the closest so far that I've seen.